And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Adder's Edge, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing himself. It is Moja. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss himself representing Stony Balls. It is Shameless. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. I do apologize for not having the predictions open for game number 1 or for series 1. I did slip my mind, but now you can predict. Now you can gamba. Now coming into this, Shameless is coming in as the reigning champion. He's the favorite player for sure, but because of Moja's aggressive nature, he can punch up. He can punch up. He can pop off. He can cause upsets. Shameless is within the range of play that Moja can bring down, the level of play which he can bring down, and does open up once again with a proxy. Let's go. Now we saw this in game 1. This looks like proxy reaper into our bunker setup outside of the natural. Gas is being taken, and we'll see if Shameless can figure out what's going on and how he does react to the scout. As again, thankfully Shameless is going to be pro scouting. He will probe scout across the map. Again, Moja does have a reputation, so again, Shameless I'm sure is very familiar with Moja and how he plays and his style. Shameless does poke in. Pokes in. Likewise, Moja setting up the bunker. This time I believe the bunker is actually blocking the nexus here, so there's going to be a delayed expand. Oh, my apologies, sorry, I just assumed it was bunker. It is an eBay block. It does go for the eBay block. At the same time, the Reaper is upon us, so the Reaper is on the way. Proxy's getting up. Shameless, he of course does confirm that there is a Rax missing, and it'll be up to Shameless to react and respond. He did already open up early Zealots, so he is ready. Reaper does poke in. Again, not too committed. And we'll see if Moja can get some probe kills. Oh. Okay, dips into the main. Robo open out a Shameless. Okay. Going one base Robo. Jesus. That's a big reaction here. The Reaper does get in. Gets one probe kill so far. Nice damage. He gets one worker. Shameless, he hasn't even seen the eBay block, by the way. Basically, Shameless is trying to hard counter a one base all in, but there's no one base play coming his way. I mean, not obviously here. Behind this, we can get our factory, we can get a CEC up and running, we can expand. Moja does scout the early Robo and early gateway, so he sees just how committed Shameless is on one base. And Moja should take a defensive stance instead. Should be seeing a defensive stance. Tech lab for Cyclone production. We have a 1-1-1 setup here by Moja. It's a cancel. And we should be seeing a CC on the high ground. Should be. Oh, Shameless moving out with that Prism. Prism is on the way. He's got 2 gates as well. Warp gate is in production. And Moja does respond here with a bunker. So again, Moja, he's terrified about the counter one base play. So he's getting his bunker. Safety Viking. This is going to be ideal. There's a world where the Viking and the Cyclone, they can shut down the Prism. They can shut it down. Shameless now expands. I'm still waiting for the CC from Moja, by the way. Yeah, this is getting a little bit rowdy here. Moja, he still is not expanded. He is now banking up. Okay, there we go. There we go. Delayed CC. Is delayed, but it's coming. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of a kitchen sink jump into the main base. We do have a Zealot, 2 Stalkers, and a Sentry. Ooh. The lock-on. Lock-on, and the Prism is going to go down. Massive pigger. Full Prism falls. Heavy losses for Shameless. The initial opener was not worth it. And again, Moja would be in an ideal position if he already had the CC being built a little bit earlier. But again, he delayed it for the starport, delayed it for the bunker, delayed it for the early tank. But it's coming. So far, Moja looking solid. Looking good. Shameless goes in. Shameless, he scouts. He sees the CC. He now knows that Moja is expanding. So where they expand? From here, Moja's getting into his own 3-1-1 setup. A very early stim. I should emphasize that as well. We have the add-on swap from the tank and into a very fast stim. So it looks like Moja is going for a 2-base all-in. There's going to be a 2-base all-in, a very strong stim timing, and Moja, he will send everything across the map once he builds up his army. Yes, Moja is expanding, but I mean, just to make some boys, just to pull them. Every game so far here from Moja tonight, he has been pulling the boys. Every game. That trend should continue here. It should. Meanwhile, additional immortals. Shameless still building up. I think after maybe 1 or 2 more series, I'm gonna go make some tea. It's cold, baby. It's cold. Otherwise, we are gonna be settling in. And we built up to 3 immortals. I mean, jeez, that's a heavy immortal count early on for Shameless. I mean, what else can he do with the Robo Opener? Now it's a Colossus. Meanwhile, Moja, again, he's massing up his army. We mentioned earlier that this looks like a 2-base all-in, and again, we're just waiting for the upgrades. Stim is done into combat shields, into concussive shell as well. Widow Mines are amassing. We have some medevac support. And soon, Moja, he will build up and send it across the map. Still building up. Now, trying to all-in and trying to be aggressive against a heavy robo player is very difficult, but as you can see here, there's a glaring issue currently with the army. That is, it's very high-tech. We have some sentries, we have 3 immortals, we have the Colossus, but there's no gateway buffer. Gateway units, they're crucial here when it comes to protecting the high-tech units. Stalkers, Zealots, we need that kind of buffer zone in between the Bio Army and the Protoss robo units, and that doesn't really exist here. Meanwhile, here comes Moja. Here comes Moja, sends it across the map. He does skirt around the edge. He's intentionally avoiding the Zolnaga tower. He's avoiding the tower. Meanwhile, does not pull the boys. Oh, I said avoiding the tower. He's actually doubling back around. He does double back around. Army gets spotted. He sees the Colossus. Moja pulls back home. Yeah, of course he did. He's missing the boys, baby. Going for the swap. And pulling back. Okay. He's pulling back home. Third CC. Never mind. Moja, upon seeing the Colossus, he does not believe and he throws down a 3rd base instead when macroing up. Now, suddenly we're in a really weird position where Moja has the faster 3rd base than Shameless. Moja, something that he just checked, he didn't just check the army, he checked the 3rd location. Shameless, his 3rd is very late. He's very 2-base heavy, so basically Shameless was setting up in such a way where he wanted Moja to try to all-in him. Moja realized that, he's like, oh, I don't want to give you what you want, so I'm gonna back off and expand, and now we're in a really weird game state where both players have a really low economy, both players have large armies, and who's favored here? Cyclone. The Cyclone goes down. Nice force fields. Yeah, Shameless. He's totally out of control. He's got his buffer now. He has all those Zealots. He has the support for the Colossus. He's moving in. Massive mine shots. Oh my god. Massive connections. Mine shots, they pop up, but the tanks are going down. And the Colossus, they reign supreme. 1 Colossus falls, but there's still 1 more left. Yeah, there's still 1 remaining. Warpins, they continue with the fast warpins, with a pylon. Shameless, he snowballs out of control. Breaks through the bunker. There's 1 tank behind this. And honestly, Shameless can keep pushing. But for now, it's playing it safe. Just playing it safe. Oh, respecting the Vikings. And upon winning these fights, Moja, he's kind of lost any semblance of army or any real way to move out and counterattack and try to bust across the map. Not like this. Not like this. Oh. Cannot quite stem in. Cannot quite sim. Moja now looking to break out. And Moja, he is able to build up. He's slowly building up, claiming his third base, now getting up to full saturation. But we're entering the mid game here. Now the game is slowing down and both players have a chance to refine their armies. For now, the Colossus are exposed to Vikings, and we do have a hefty Viking count for Moja, but that's why we're switching into what looks to be Storm. Interesting. I feel like a more common transition is to go Colossus into Disruptor, but here we're going Colossus into Storm instead. I mean, Storm does have its place. Currently, there are no ghosts, at least. True. There are no ghosts. Storm can do well. So we are going to be embracing that mid game. Calming down. Moja poking out across the map. I don't think he actually checks the fourth. Yes, there we go. He's gonna go check the fourth. Should be some misrallying. Are we F2ing? Either that or this Marine is in the wrong control group. This has been trying to scout. But here we go. Moja pushing through the center. He's got 10 Vikings and no Storm. If you recall, I saw the Temple Archives. I assumed it was going to be for Storm, but no, it's just for Archon support. Which means these Vikings, they can reign supreme. We do see Shameless trying to come in from behind, but Moja's maxed out. Yeah, maxed out, massive army. Shameless going for the backstab instead. Oh no, turning back around. Turns around, coming from behind. Tank boys going up. The tanks are exposed, losing one. Yeah, a couple of tanks are going down. Vikings, they do clean up every Colossus though. No Colossus left. Pushing further in, and GG gets called. The Protoss army crumbles, and Moja snowballs out of control. He takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very awkward game here, I will say. But maybe awkward, maybe uncomfortable is a better word of putting here, where both players are very adverse to expanding. Late third base for Shameless, later third base for Moja as well. Shameless was trying to be very, very safe and trying to build up. Again, he didn't quite refine his army. His army was still lacking when it comes to additional splash damage. The 10 Vikings more than paid off. They shut down the Colossus immediately, and we had that maxed out bio army just steaming on through. GG. GG, well played. With that, Moja does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading game number 2. Going to be loading into the Old Sun Temple, one of the 4 player spawn maps. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Sun Temple, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing himself, leading the series 1-0, though it is Moja. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player with the Protoss player himself. We have representing Stouty Bulls, it is Shameless. And welcome to the Old Sun Temple. Welcome to Closed Spawns. This is a 4-player spawn map, and we do happen to spawn right next to each other. The rush distance by ground here is incredibly short, and this does typically favor aggressive players. And Moja, he is the definition of aggressive, so this is where Moja is going to be at his best. We'll see how long it takes to scout each other though, and what kind of builds we do decide to go for here as we load into the Old Sun Temple. Let's go. Let's go. Nothing. Oh, good. Sorry, I was just getting a jacket. It's very cold here in Australia. As Shameless is coming with the Pro Scout, and Shameless will find Moja immediately. Meanwhile, Moja, he has yet to scout. Huh. No SCV scout whatsoever. So Moja's been quite greedy. He's going for a Rax expand, no SCV scout, and likewise is going Marine first, not Reaper. So limited vision, limited scouting out of Moja. Of course, the advantage here is that he's going to be a little bit greedier, but Shameless is able to scout his position, and now Shameless can choose to be the aggressor instead. We shall see. So the players are opening up. Players are settling in. From here, Moja is blindly getting his own bunker, still has yet to scout. Meanwhile, we do see Shameless getting into his own tech of choice. We'll see if he does go for it. There it is, Twilight Council. Last game, we saw a really peculiar build with Shameless going for a robo-based opener and robo-heavy play, which was, again, very abnormal. Here is going for the Twilight Council instead. With this, we can go into Blink, into a more standard mid-game. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. If he goes 2-gate Blink, a greedy build, 3-gate Blink, safe build, 4-gate Blink, aggressive build. So keep an eye on the gateway count to see how active Shameless wants to be. Based on spawn locations, he can get into 4-gate Blink Stalker. Could see it do well. Let's see. Now he's poking in. Likewise, we do have our 1-1-1 setup here. Tech Lab on the factory, most likely into Safety Cyclone. We can go for early tank or even just go for an add-on swaps. There's some potential for Moja to mix up his build. Mix it up. From here, we do have our second Rex. So just building away to our 2-1-1 until eventually 3-1-1. Shameless claiming his own third base as well. We were curious as to how many gateways Shameless is going to throw down, and it is going to be 2. So 2-gate Blink into the third. A greedy build here by Shameless. Very fast third base. Now, the biggest issue with what's happening is that Moja doesn't know he can punish. Moja, he still has seen nothing. He still has no idea what's going on. As a result, he doesn't know how greedy Shameless is being and how vulnerable Shameless is. Now, Moja might just blindly go for a 2-base all in anyway, but yeah, working with a lot of incomplete information, and so far Shameless is getting away with quite a bit. This feels risky, especially based on spawn locations. Very, very risky. Shameless is taking them risks. Blink is now done, being active with the Stalkers, keeping eyes on any kind of move out. Any committed play. as otherwise we are still just building up. Again, for now, we're just waiting for the upgrades. Like, Moja's stuck at home. He's stuck at home until all these upgrades really kick in. We can see that Shameless, he has gone away with a bunch of greed. He's now fully saturated on 3 bases, and now he can start to fixate on his army production. Up until this point, he's barely had an army. This has been it. Just our initial 5 Stalkers. Now we have the Bay on the way for Colossus. Shameless does need a little bit more time, as Moja does start to move out. Ooh, catching a Thief Observer. Shameless getting a 4th base by he's crazy. In the face of the push, gets a 4th expansion. Moja is pushing out across the map. He's moving out.
Research complete.
And he may deny the 4th base. Stalkers are coming from behind. Yeah, Moja, he doesn't know where the main army is. He scans, sees the base on the way. He can force a cancel. Whereas really, what he should be doing is pushing into the 3rd or into the natural to claim a better, just to get better pickoffs. Yeah, he's looking. He still doesn't know. No, he's looking. It is mine. This is the 3rd. As now he's aware. Now he can rotate over. But again, this is giving Shameless so much time. Shameless, now he has a Colossus. Zelsek has reinforcements, massive pickoffs. Racing all the way across the map. Now we get a 3rd CC. No shot. Yeah, Zelsek getting into the mineral land at the same time. We can see Moja trying to catch out the main army. Zelsek bust in. Yeah, they bust in. The bunker should fall at the same time. Main armies, they clash. The tanks are unsieged. Oh my god. Do we siege up? Starting back Shameless. Meanwhile, GG has called a 19 SCV kills. Zelarambai gets out of hand, and Shameless ties up the series. We're going to game 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And honestly, there's a world where if we had seen Moja scout ahead of time, and if he was aware of the spawn location, that push, instead of going diagonally across the map to deny the 4th base, we could have seen that push into the natural and maybe even just kill Shameless then and there. It was a massive army. It was very threatening, and remember, he was pushing pre-first Colossus, so there was a chance, but he just didn't know where his opponent had spawned in, didn't know where he was pushing, and he just gambled a little bit. The gamba. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3, loading into the ace match. Going to be loading into Rainfall. Oh my god. Jesus. The Vitos. They're crazy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the German Terran player. We have the red Terran being forced into the ace match. Going to bring it back. It is Moja. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Standy Bulls. It is Shameless. Here we go. So we're getting into game number 3 here again. We're tied up 1-1, and we've now found ourselves in one of the smallest maps in the map pool, second shortest rush distance by ground. From here, Moja will see if he does commit into some aggression. I mean, this time he knows where his opponent is spawning, so this time he can be a little more intentional about his movement, about his play. There is no RNG factor here, not the same way at least, when it comes to spawn locations. So again, we found ourselves in the ace match. Let's go. We're just setting up. Just a single gas opener, so racks expand out of Moja, economic start. I say racks expand, but we haven't seen Moja go racks into factory off of 1 gas. We saw that like once or twice already here tonight, so I don't want to rule that out, but it should be a more economic start initially from the Terran. Likewise, Shameless is probe scouting. I don't blame him. He is probe scouting, is checking for gases, checking for proxies, making sure the Rax is back at home, and does confirm the Rax is indeed back at home. The Rax is back home. That Shaman does pull back, does pull out. So far, everything's looking standard. I did just actually mention that we have been seeing Moja go Rack's factory off of 1 gas twice now so far. Now we're seeing it a 3rd time in the broadcast. So a little bit safer play here. It looks like Moja may even just go for a 1-1-1, then go for the then go for the natural CC. Just a safer start. Okay, there we go. It's going for the expand after the factory. So again, just a delayed expansion, but just to be safe. This should lead into initially Reaper Hellion, then can lead into Cyclone afterwards. But now the Reaper Hellion is amassing. And the purpose of Reaper Hellion and this big of a commitment is to gain map control and ideally harass the mineral lines as well and get across the map. But now we do see Shameless reinforcing, moving out with the Zealot and with the Stalker. Stalker's moving in. It does bully back the SCV. Hellion has arrived. Oh, getting attention of all these off on the Stalker. And with that, Moja holds. And Moja, he does hold on. We'll take a lot of hits on the Reaper, but does micro back. Nice control. Takes down the Zealot. Zealot goes down, hunting down the Stalker. Second Stalker does reinforce, and with that, Shameless still maintains his position. But there's more Reaper Hellion building up. Oh. And once again, Moja should hold on. He's going to lose a Reaper, though. We're getting a little bit rowdy here. 1, 2 Reapers go down for a Stalker. Now the Stalker has arrived, is getting out of hand. Shameless still rallying, and behind this, Moja's army is very low on HP. Yeah, he's lost a little bit too much. The CC does complete, thankfully, though, and Moja abandons or evacuates the natural. Evacuates, pulls away. Boys are here to repair. Stalker's there getting a lot done. Doesn't notice. Jesus. Okay. Oh, does pull away, has to respect the Widow Mine. Can remember mine shots, they do activate much faster. Shameless pulls away. Back at home, Shameless throwing down extra gateways, so he's going 2 gate blink. 2 gate blink, bam, into a 3rd. So very greedy follow up here by Shameless, cutting a bunch of corners. He's being greedy. Oof. Yeah, mine does bar. Do throw one of the Stalkers. Second mine has arrived. Barely does burrow in time. And Moja holds. Moja now holds. Now can saturate his natural. We're building up on 2 bases. And we'll see if Moja can punish Shameless's greed. Again, Shameless has been cutting a lot of corners. But Moja has been slowed down. So this may be enough to allow for Shameless to build up the Colossus. Robo's on the way. Blink is on the way. This typically leads into a bay into Colossus production. And Moja's still a ways away from moving out. He's still getting his 2nd and 3rd racks. From here, he can then go into add-on swaps and work towards stim, but is a ways away. From here, Moja going for his own counterattack, harassing the mineral lines. There is a spot of pylon, so Shameless will see this ahead of time. He'll see this. And Moja should respond. There we go. Should. So it looks like Shameless didn't notice. Yeah, like reaction, losing 1 worker, Stalker's out of position. Sub damage is being dealt, Shameless being kept busy. And meanwhile, Moja is still building up and still waiting for stim. Stim, combat shields, +1, all the upgrades are on the way. Once they finish, then Moja can push out. Now, whether or not Moja pushes with the boys as well is hard to say. It's gonna depend on how much Shameless has to work with as well. He's going for a massive gateway explosion. 6 gates on the way, 3 already done. 4 already done. So 10, Jesus, 10 gates in total. It's a lot of gateways. Yeah, we're getting up to 10 gates. And what's really cool here is that Shameless, he's not morphing them into warp gates. That he's using them just like Rax's, I should say, just standard production, with warp gate being researched, so faster production. And I believe this means that Shameless, he will have a standing army ready for this. Here comes Moja. It's going to be close. Moja, he moves out, and Moja expands behind this, within range of the with the observer. Oof, yeah, he's within range. Shameless, he sees that this is not all in. So Shameless knows he can take it easy. Yeah, massing more zealots. Moja trying to move in from behind, trying to push his way towards a natural. There's no Colossus, actually. Uh-oh. There's no Colossus. It's still on the way. Yeah, Colossus still coming. Moja stepping in. Oof. The Colossus has arrived. Yeah, Master Swipe's going off. Tanks are exposed as well. Raven goes down. Gets one of the tanks. Can he get two? Oh, as he will not get the tank, actually. Oh my god. Yeah, the tank stays strong. Massive tank shots. The Colossus gets focused down. Wow, GG gets called, and Moja does overwhelm, does break through, and Moja will claim the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I didn't think that Moja would have enough in him there. He was getting a third TC, he did not pull the boys, he was not overly committed, but alas, he was able to get across the map before the first Colossus arrived. In my mind, I just assumed that the first Colossus would be out in time, but no, it just popped out as the fight was happening, and we saw Shameless push within range of those tanks. When we saw him close that gap and dive in the army, I thought he was going to at least get the first tank immediately, but there was no target firing actually. There was no target firing from the Stalker specifically. He was just on a move, and the tank survived. Somehow, someway, the tank did survive that first attack, and with that we saw some massive tank voids going off, just punching the army. GG. GG, well played. With that, Moja, he will claim the series, he will advance on into the next round, and Shameless, the reigning champion, the favorite player for this tournament, is knocked down to the lower brackets. GG. GG. Well, do we get a new champion this season? Too early to tell, but doesn't bode well for Shameless. Does not bode well, as we are getting into game number 3 into our next series here on the broadcast. It's going to be a PvP between Sebestus and Arog Fire.